Hello, students. Today we'll read about a new chapter, that is chapter number 5 of your book Flamingo from Indigo. If you remember, I sent you two videos based on this chapter, the summary and the main points, before the break. So if you have that video, watch it. It's written by Louis Fisher. Uh, his lifetime was from 1896 to 1970. He was born in Philadelphia. He served as a volunteer in the British Army between 1918 and 1920. So he was in the British Army. Fisher made a career as a journalist and wrote for the New York Times, the Saturday Review, and for European and Asian publications. He was also a member of the faculty at Princeton University. The following is an excerpt from his book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. So he had written a book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi, and this chapter Indigo, is just a part of that. Although he was a Britisher, but he followed Gandhiji wholeheartedly. He was a disciple of Gandhi, you can say. The book has been reviewed as one of the best books ever written on Gandhi by Times Educational Supplement. Before jumping into the explanation of the chapter, let's know some expressions which are used in the text. First is urge the departure. Urge means starting wishing. Gandhiji, it's used by Gandhiji that he decided to urge the departure of Britishers. He wanted Britishers to go out from India. Next is harbor a man like me. Harbor means to give shelter. A man like me means a man like Gandhi. So somebody gave him shelter, and this was the expression used by him, that a person like me who's against government, if somebody is giving a shelter, it's a very big thing. Conflict of duties means one who is stuck between two duties. Last is fourth, seek a prop means seek help to use something or to use somebody. Now the chapter. When I first visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India, he said, I'll tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British. It was in 1917. So here Louis Fisher first visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram. And there Gandhi told Louis Fisher that he was going to tell him how it happened that Gandhiji decided to wish for the departure of the Britishers or British. It was in 1917. So please note this point, that before 1917, Gandhiji was not working in the direction of the complete departure of the British. He was just working for the Swaraj. He just wanted his own, the countryman's rule on the country. But after 1917, he just wanted Britishers to go away from the country. So what happened in 1917 is very important. This is the chapter about. And this is a very important point which you are going to use in many of the answers, in many of the questions. That why did he actually started having the desire for the Britishers to depart from India? He had gone to the December 1916 annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. This is what is told by Gandhiji to Louis Fisher. That Gandhiji went to December 1916 convention of Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. There were 2,301 delegates and many visitors. During the proceedings, Gandhi remembered, a peasant came up to me looking like any other peasant in India. And if we have to picturize a peasant in India, we will picturize the peasant to be very thin, very skinny, black in complexion, wearing dhoti and chadar. This is the picture we have for the peasants in India. So similarly, uh, of this appearance, a peasant came to Gandhiji who was very poor and emaciated. Emaciated means again skinny, thin and skinny, and said, I'm Rajkumar Shukla. This peasant said to Gandhiji that he was Rajkumar Shukla. So Rajkumar Shukla is a peasant. I am from Champaran, he was from Champaran, and I want you means Gandhiji, to come to my district. Rajkumar Shukla wanted Gandhi to come to Champaran. Gandhi had never heard of the place because for many years he was there in South Africa. Moreover, at that time India was not a single unit. It was owned by many of the rulers before the Britishers came and enslaved it. It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas. Rajkumar Shukla told him that Champaran was at the bottom of the tall Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. Under an ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Further, Rajkumar Shukla told him that in Champaran, many of the peasants were sharecroppers. Sharecroppers, you can have the definition with this word: the peasants who give the share of their crop, the croppers who give the share of their crop. Rajkumar Shukla was also one of them. He was also a sharecropper. He was illiterate, he was uneducated, but resolute, firm, strong. He had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar. So at that time, only a single party of the Indians were there. That was Indian National Congress. So this person specially came from Champaran, Bihar, to tell the people who were included in Congress to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar. And somebody had probably said, probably means possibly, somebody in the crowd possibly said to Rajkumar Shukla, speak to Gandhi. So he intentionally did not come to speak to Gandhi. Rajkumar Shukla was not aware of Gandhi and his achievements in South Africa. How? At that time, the media was not, you can say, so widely spread that the people in Champaran used to know about the happening of the world or the all over the country. As we all know, Gandhi did a lot in South Africa for the black people. Rajkumar Shukla did not know the record of Gandhi, but somebody had him said him, possibly said him speak to Gandhi, and he just spoke to Gandhi. Gandhi told Shukla he had an appointment in Kanpur, present Kanpur, and was also committed to go to other parts of India. So Gandhi told him that he was already busy with lots of appointments. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. Wherever Gandhi was going, Shukla was following him. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad after going to all places. Shukla followed him to the ashram also. For weeks, he never left Gandhi's side. It was not like that Gandhi refused him that I have so many appointments, I can't come, and he went away. No. He followed Gandhi everywhere because he just wanted Gandhi to go there and help the peasants like him. Fix a date, he begged. Rajkumar Shukla begged, requested Gandhiji to fix a date if he was having appointments now. After 4 months or 6 months, whenever he was free, he could fix a date. Impressed by the sharecropper's tenacity, tenacity means जिद होता है वैसे, means firm nature, resolution. In story, Gandhi said, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such a date. Come and meet me and take me from there. So finally, Gandhi got impressed with Rajkumar Shukla and his story, and Gandhi said, okay, I'll be coming in Calcutta on this and this date. You come to Calcutta and take me with you to your area. Months passed. Shukla was sitting on his haunches. Sitting on haunches is like you sit when you are preparing for some race, when you are getting prepared for something. Months passed, the date came, and Shukla was sitting ready at the appointed spot in Calcutta as told by Gandhi when Gandhi arrived. He waited till Gandhi was free, so Gandhi did his work, Shukla was waiting. Then the two of them, means Gandhi and Rajkumar Shukla, boarded a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. From there, they did not go to Champaran. They went to Patna first, and there Shukla led him to the house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad. Shukla first of all took Gandhi to their lawyer's house. That the person was Rajkumar Shukla. We all know Rajendra Prasad. We all know that Rajendra Prasad was the first president of the independent India. But Rajendra Prasad was the person who was actually fighting for the people of Champaran. He was the lawyer of these kind of peasants. Lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, who later became president of the Congress Party and of India. Rajendra Prasad was out of town. Unfortunately, Rajendra Prasad did not meet Rajkumar Shukla and Gandhi were not able to meet Rajendra Prasad. But the servants knew Shukla as a poor yeoman. Yeoman again means peasants. But Rajendra Prasad's servant knew Rajkumar Shukla because Rajkumar Shukla used to go to Rajendra Prasad's house. Rajendra Prasad was his lawyer. So the servants knew that, yeah, this person, he usually comes to meet our master and he is a peasant who pestered their master. Pestered it is to follow to a great extent, बहुत ज़्यादा किसी के पीछे बढ़ना, that is to pester somebody, who pestered their master to help the indigo sharecroppers. So Rajkumar Shukla was also a person who was working hard for his people. He was pestering Rajendra Prasad. He went to Gandhi. He waited for there, and now he's helping Gandhi a lot. So Rajkumar Shukla also plays a vital role, a great role here. So they let him stay on the grounds. So the peasants who knew that Rajkumar Shukla was a peasant, so they let him stay on the grounds with his companion Gandhi, whom they took to be another peasant. Look at this now. At this time, untouchability was there, and the peasants were said to be of lower caste, so they were not allowed to sit on the beds or where the upper class people used to sit. They were to be set on the grounds. So the peasant Rajkumar Shukla was asked to sit on the grounds by Rajendra Prasad's servants, and Gandhi, who also looked like a peasant, he was not a lower caste person. He was an advocate. He belonged to such a good family, but his appearance was like a peasant in India. So the Rajendra Prasad's servants asked Gandhi also to sit on the grounds, and Gandhi did not utter a word, a single word. He did not say anything that I am who I am. He did not tell anything. He just sat on the ground with Rajendra Prasad, with Rajkumar Shukla. But Gandhi was not permitted to draw water from the well, lest some drops from his bucket pollute the entire source, lest uh, that something should not happen. Next day, okay, the first day Gandhi was to sit on the grounds, but next day Gandhi was not permitted to have water from the well, because it was believed that if he would touch the water and the drops would fall into the well, the whole water will be polluted for the upper caste people. This was the belief of the people that time. How did they know that he was not an untouchable? It was the first time they were meeting Gandhi, so they did not know that he was not an untouchable. He was the person who was an advocate and who was working this much hard for the nation. So Gandhi was not able to meet Rajendra Prasad. He changed his plan. Gandhi decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran, on the way to Champaran, to achieve more complete information about conditions than Shukla was capable of imparting. Shukla was a peasant. He could tell about the details which were known to him, but the whole details of contracts, the legal details could not be told by Shukla. So Gandhiji wanted to meet some lawyers for that. He was failed in meeting Rajendra Prasad, so he went to Muzaffarpur so that he could meet some other lawyers. He accordingly sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani of the Arts College in Muzaffarpur, whom he knew, whom he had seen at Tagore's Shantiniketan school. The train arrived at midnight at Muzaffarpur, 15 April 1917, and Professor J.B. Kriplani, जिसको लेटर लिखा है गांधी जी ने, was waiting at the station with a large body of students. See the popularity of Gandhi. Although the students did not know Gandhi, but they were waiting for him. They wanted to see Gandhi, and they were waiting for him at midnight. Kriplani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days in the home of Professor Malkani, a teacher in government school. Okay, so Gandhi didn't stay at Kriplani's house. He stayed in some other professor's house. The name was Malkani. And here he says a very important thing. Please see. It was an extraordinary thing in those days, Gandhi commented, for a government professor to harbor a man like me. Means the teacher was working for the government, Gandhi was working against the government. So if a government employee would give a shelter to this kind of person, his job would be in danger, but Malkani gave him shelter. In smaller localities, the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates of home rule. Even in the small areas, the people, including Gandhi, who were now working for home rule, okay, before 1917 they were working for home rule. After 1917, as Gandhi said in the beginning, they started working for the complete departure of the Britishers. What is this home rule? It means to have the rule of one's country into the countrymen, the hands of countrymen. Means the Indians should rule India instead of the Britishers. He was not having any objection of the Britishers to live here and do their trade and something else, but he wanted the power to be there in Indian hands. He wanted them to be the authorities. They could have the guidance of the Britishers, but authority should be there in their hands. So they were working for this before 1917, and people were afraid to show sympathy for these kind of advocates because they were afraid of Britishers. So जो ब्रिटिशर्स के अगेंस्ट थे उनके साथ लोग बहुत कम सपोर्ट करते थे. The news of Gandhi's advent means arrival, and of the nature of his mission, why he had come here, spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. So the peasants came to know that somebody had come to help him. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot and by conveyance to see their champion. So Champaran के लोगों से रहा नहीं गया, and they just came to see that who the person is who's there to help them. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi, met Gandhi to brief him, to tell him all the kind of information about the case. They frequently represented peasants group in court. They told what procedure had been done now. वहाँ के lawyers ने क्या क्या किया है. It was told that they had represented the peasant groups in court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their fee. The lawyers told कि cases कहाँ तक गए हैं and what is the size of the fee they are taking. Gandhi chided the lawyers for collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. Chided means scolded. Gandhi felt very angry that these peasants are so much under burden now and you are collecting big fee from them. He said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to law courts. Here Gandhi announced a very unexpected thing for the people. He said we should not go to law courts. The case should not go on now regarding this. Taking such cases to the courts does little good. Why? Because the peasants are so afraid, they cannot express themselves in the court. Moreover, the court and everything was under the British rule. So how would they be giving a judgment against Britishers? Of course, Britishers were on the strong part here, where the peasants are so crushed and fear-stricken. Why it is not good to take these cases to the court? Because peasants are so crushed, exploited, and they are so fear-stricken, fearful. Law courts are useless. They cannot express themselves openly. They cannot oppose because they are so frightened. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. This is very important line. He feels that the real relief for them, सबसे बड़ी जो पहली चीज़ करनी है, that is कि उनको fearless बनाना है. So this is it for the day. Read the chapter, okay, and if you have any doubt, feel free to ask me in doubts. Do read it. Have a good day.